Okay, my goal today in dealing with the government was try to find an answer to one question. Why don't they teach us our rights? Why doesn't government teach us our rights? So I went to the Greeley Police Department Facebook page, and I see them posting all kinds of stuff here. How the Greeley Police interact with the community. Just you can look it up for yourself what they're talking about. Traffic accident, ward ceremony. They got a new dog, and a couple other miscellaneous things like that. So I thought, well, I'm going to message them and see if I could strike up a conversation with somebody who would reason with me. Possibly listen and possibly try to help find some answers. Because I have yet to see any government agency reason. Most people don't know anything because they're simply working, doing their job, and they know nothing. All they know is how to follow orders and collect a paycheck. So this is what I wrote them. I asked the question, why doesn't government teach us our rights? So I sent that one to them. Then I got to thinking and I wrote this one. I was wondering if you could post on issues like other people's rights so that we can have a discussion. I believe the law is taking our rights, and that is unlawful. Wouldn't you agree? So, trying to ask a question. I don't know who's going to answer this question. Wouldn't you agree? So, the government can take me to court free of charge at the taxpayer's expense, but I have to pay? Why? Or is there a way I can take you to court free of charge? I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt. Maybe the system is just, and maybe I have just as much rights as an officer to charge somebody with a crime or whatever, violation of a law, but I can't. Or I'm asking, or can I? So this is what Greeley Police Department, I know it wasn't the Greeley Police Department, or maybe it was, because maybe the person who responded is acting on behalf of the Greeley Police Department. So this is what they wrote. They said, Mr. Brothwell, it appears you have a lot of discussion points and questions reference the government in general. This web page is not intended to be discussion forum on these types of matters. Well, that's of course. There is no forum, for them to answer these types of questions. None anywhere. The only forum is the courthouse, which is all controlled by them. What we strive to do with this web page is to be accurate in disseminating relevant law enforcement related information to the public in order to serve the public and the community in a better way. We would recommend you attempt to locate other websites which may exist to address your concern and or questions. Thank you for your inquiry. So I wrote, do you have any suggestions? Because to my understanding, there is none. To my understanding, government does not have the ability to reason. I challenge you to find a website designed for reason. By the way, what is your name? My name is Dwayne Brothwell, not Dwayne Brothwell that was created at my birth without my consent and knowledge of the truth of what it was. Talking about the birth certificate, which creates a corporation, and these people have no clue what's going on. And thereby, since they don't know, they are ignorantly using intimidation because they're working and they're doing a job, following orders, and to force us into a contract. And I asked again, what is your name? The reason is because I want to see who said this. Who is the one that is saying this right here? The problem I see with government is they're scared. See, look, they saw it, and right now it's 7:14. So they saw the reply. They saw what I wrote, but they didn't reply back. The reason is, I'm guessing, they're scared. People are scared. There is a power out there that puts people in fear. There is very seldom do you find a person in government who will actually talk to you and reason with you, who will, because they're afraid. They're afraid that they might say something wrong, and they're just scared. Reminds me that our country used to be home of the brave, and now you find that all these people are chicken. They're scared to talk. You know, I would like to. So do you have any suggestions? So I guess maybe I'll put on here, well, do you have any suggestions? And, you know, typical government, I'll never get a reply back. I mean, I might. You know, who knows? Maybe this person will sincerely try to do the right thing and help me understand. The problem I'm finding is that this is a fraud. This entire system is a fraud. And a fraud will never be spoken out in light. Where there's a fraud, there's always people hiding and scared. And the government they're hiding because they definitely won't reason with you. They won't answer your questions. They will not get into a reasoning debate with you because they are committing fraud. Because the reason they're committing fraud is because the birth certificate was created for the people to do business with the international bankers, giving up our rights and our property and ourselves. But they didn't tell us that. They didn't tell us that we had a choice. They didn't tell us the inner workings of this process or agreement of the birth certificate or Social Security card scam. Edward Mandell House said every American will be a contributor to this fraud we will call social insurance. Edward Mandell House, a banker representative to Woodrow Wilson at the passage of the Federal Reserve Act, also said in that quote, he said, every American will be required to register their biological property. Whenever you register something, you're handing over ownership. So they could tell you what to do with it. When you register your car, they tell you what to do with your car. There's no law that says you have to have a birth certificate. There's no law that says a parent has to sign the birth certificate. Study it. There's no law that says you have to. Which means it's voluntary. You can voluntarily enter into this system. The problem is that once you break one of their codes, regulations, statutes, which are designed for corporations, they try to force that upon you. Because the law is so vague, the understanding of the system is so vague that nobody, it takes a very smart, wise, and intelligent person to finally figure it out. And that's what I've done. I figured this system out. I'd lost my train of thought. But anyway.
Dwayne, you did a good job. Hallelujah.
Thank you, Dad. Well, we won. We have already won. This government has already lost because they're forcing us into a contract. They're forcing us into their jurisdiction because that's what the birth certificate and Social Security card was created for, was to, like Edward, yeah, like Edward Mandell House said. It said they will give up their rights and oh man, I wish I had the quote with me. I do. Here, hold on one second.
I wish I'd had the balls to do something like that when I was a kid.
Yeah. I'm going to find the quote right now.
Dwayne, I'm all for you. Remember that?
Thanks, Dad. Edward Mandell House. Very soon.
I tell you what, they'll throw you in jail. I'll get you out if I can.
Yeah, well, I don't want it bailed out because they're going to be operating in fraud. Because they're bigger criminals than me. The only thing they can even attempt to do is get me for some statute or some stupid statute or code that really doesn't even hurt anybody. So this is what Edward Mandell House said. He said, very soon every American will be required to register their biological property in a national system designed to keep track of the people that will operate under the ancient system of pledging. By such methodologies, we can compel the people to submit to our agenda, which will affect our security as a chargeback for our fiat paper currency. Every American will be forced to register or suffer being unable to work or earn a living. They will be our chattel, slave, and we will hold the security interest over them forever. Americans unknowingly or unwittingly delivering the bills of lading to us will be rendered bankrupt and insolvent, forever remain economic slaves through taxation secured by their pledges. They will be stripped of their rights and given a commercial value. So,
Dwayne, you ever get
anyway.
to jail, I'll get you.